this guy cannot get away from the being too demanding allegations, because this here is what he wrote on Twitter to Valkyrae for responding to the Ava Kris Tyson situation. And I think that Acheeto doesn't understand that people have different reasons to respond to a serious situation without making it largely based on insults. He says there's a level of coding in this rhetoric that I find strange. You should be shitting on them. This response is a total non-dressel of the situation. Okay, first off, Acheeto, you're wrong. This is not a non-dressel at all. This is a perfectly good response because Valkyrae just responded to the situation that just came out, dumbass. And second, you don't need to be shitting on the rightfully accused person who did something bad. You can respond to any allegations perfectly without having to make a childish remark, which is what Acheeto wanted Valkyrae to do. Additionally, you're patting them on the back for stepping away. Odd. The fuck you mean she's patting them on the back? This tweet here is not a pat on the back response. It is a perfectly good response to the way Ava Kris Tyson has allegedly inappropriately messaged a minor, and for not knowing what kind of a bad person Shadman is when she purchased all of his art. That's why Valkyrae was glad that Ava Kris Tyson left Mr. Beast. So it's not any way at all patting them on the back, Acheeto. And I'm not the only one who thinks that Acheeto is completely and utterly being retarded. You see the part where she says disappointing and disgusting, right? That doesn't seem like patting Ava on the back to me, but the spinning you're doing is giving you a lot of clicks, so keep it up. See? That's what I've been saying. But this dude is too peewee-brained to get it. I'm just curious why you care so much. Yeah, Ava did a really, really bad thing. But you are here attacking people for not responding how you would like them or as quickly. Make it make sense. Yes, exactly. She doesn't have to respond quickly or respond to the way Acheeto wants to hear. She is not obligated to. Cheeto, I love you, but you're nitpicking. She condemned Chris's actions and said she's glad that they stepped down. I don't feel like everyone who's been in the same room as Chris needs to make a response documentary. Exactly. Not everybody needs to make a response. And just because she condemned Chris's actions for what it was, doesn't mean she needs to condemn it the way Acheeto wants to hear it. Bro is so obsessed with promoting his outdated ass video. We're watching the real people who broke the story, not some cloud-obsessed goblin. Quit harassing people for attention. I'm sorry, but he's right. You are way too obsessed with the Ava Kris Tyson situation. You gotta chill out a bit. You are more worried about attacking people for their responses or lack of than the actual situation. You're so weird. Yeah, he is, because he thinks that shitting on them will equate to somebody holding that one person accountable for their actions. Instead of making a good, respectable, non-insulting response. If there's one thing that you folks do is get upset about anything and everything, this tweet does not have to be specified to your liking. Not gonna lie, there are people out there who get upset about every little thing that someone has to do on the internet. When they give a pretty measured good take, because they simply do not know a whole lot about this situation and they just wanna leave it at that because they're learning. Acheeto try not to be the dumbest motherfucking stain on the internet challenge. He cannot read sentences. Yeah, that could be the reason. Although, to be fair, he is like 19 or 20, so his prefrontal cortex is not fully developed yet. Bro, you're an idiot. It's not a pat on the back. Everyone should be glad they are stepping away from Mr. Beast. Did you want her to stay? Coping and seething cause you can't claim there is a double standard anymore. She called Chris and Doc both disgusting. Finally, thank you Jesus. Finally, someone with an actual brain. You know what's odd? You are legitimately more concerned with random creators' statements about the situation than you are the actual people involved. It comes off like you don't actually care about the pedo stuff at all and only care about clout. Yeah, I agree with Fiona there, because it kind of sounded very condescending. And if you do legitimately care about clout, Acheeto, then just be honest and say that. But if you truly cared about talking about a serious situation such as the Ava Kris Tyson situation, then why would you immediately bother somebody for responding? The real thing is, you simply wouldn't give a fuck what she said. If she came out and cursed him out and called him names, you say too little too late, this is just putting on a show, and find a new way to be weird. It's very true. I mean, take this from me. I simply do not care about the responses that online influencers make when their own friends or people who they have met before are in a controversy like this. I simply do not care if their takes aren't equate to the way that I wanted them to equate to me. Because most human beings are not perfect to make a perfect response to a sticky situation that they find themselves in because they were friends with someone. Seems like Pokimane and Valkyrae have spoken more in depth about Ava than Dr. Disrespect. Sure, it's a milquetoast response, but it is coming from the most bland, no personality as people. Seems like you're legitimately trying to make mountains out of molehills, brah. I don't care if the response Valkyrae makes is a milquetoast one or not. Like, the response Valkyrae made is a pretty good response. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. A commentary YouTuber with 31.5k subscribers whose name is Danky Abo says this to Acheeto: "This is what I mean. Fucking hell, some views are just such whiny wee twats." And if you don't know what that creator means, here's a tweet from 6:06 p.m. that day. FYI, I think the Kris Tyson stuff is grim, but can people shut the fuck up about influencers not responding? Could you give it like a week before you get overexcited that a trans person did something bad? It's so clear some of you don't care. And just want to say, I told you so. Yeah, Acheeto, if you actually cared, then you wouldn't have this mindset of having people to respond to a serious situation right away. Because no influencer owes you any response, regardless of if they're friends or used to be friends with Kris Tyson. Now, I do not fucking care if you wanted people to respond to the situation. You are not the moral police. You, Acheeto, can't push over people on the internet like that. This is why almost everybody on the internet, and even some other commentary YouTubers, have said this before. If you constantly demanded or forced online influencers to speak quickly on any situation that involves allegations towards one person because that online influencer doesn't cater to your needs of the way they respond, then you need to get off the internet and log off. Because nobody owes a commentary YouTuber a response. Because if that online influencer happens to know another online influencer and they didn't want to be rushed or pressured on to speak about the allegations right away, then that is simply their choice. They don't need to speak on the allegations right away. They can wait at least a week or 3 weeks to speak on it. It's not up to you to tell them that they should speak on the allegations. And it's not up to you to tell Valkyrae that she should be shitting on them. Initially, I'm all for accountability. But if you desperately want to see accountability by forcing someone to respond so that this person that you criticized would be held accountable, then essentially you're doing it the wrong way. And that's because, Acheeto, that is not how you hold someone accountable for their actions. Like, if you want to really make a YouTube video on Kris Tyson, fine. Make a video on her and her only, and criticize her and her only on Twitter. But don't go out of the woodworks and deflect the attention that Kris Tyson is getting and bring the attention to the people who are not actively speaking on a situation right away, which will ruin the moment of what you're trying to achieve to hold someone accountable for their despicable actions. Please do the entire internet community a favor and stop forcing people to speak on allegations that they're not ready enough to speak on.